I'm Lauren Strand. Welcome to 365 Unplugged, and I'm joined, as always, with the very beautiful
Alistair Pugin coming to you live from stormy, sunny South Africa. We've had torrential downpours, hail, and all of those things. I haven't been in Johannesburg. I've been in Cape Town. I got back this evening, and the first thing I needed to do was sit down and talk to Lauren. It's not the greatest way to come home from.
Well, I woke up, had a shower, and spoke to you because I like to start my day with a good cup of Alistair. So, it is wrong. Let's move on. A topic I want to talk about is this Microsoft Service Adoption Specialist course that is lighting up the social verse. What's your topic?
Yeah. I want to talk about new sensitive information types in Outlook Mobile.
All right, then. Let's do our paper, rock, scissors. Ready?
All right.
Right. 1, 2, 3.
What is that?
Scissors, cuts, paper.
Okay. I will never, ever get this right. All right.
One day we'll get the timing right.
What is it?
All right. So Microsoft Service Adoption Specialist certification. Just rolls off the tongue.
Is that like the mouse certification back in the old days?
No, I don't think so. This is more about change management. So for those of you watching this who don't know what it is, like some of us who are on the call who don't know what it is.
Look, I saw the stuff floating around. Caruana, I mean, she spent a lot of time putting this together, and it's great. All right.
So look, what it is effectively, for want of better terminology, kind of change manager training in a box. Change management is effective with Office 365, and adoption is effectively the new Exchange migration. It's the new thing that every partner wants to do. It's the new thing that every customer needs to be comfortable with. So what this course is effectively about is about getting people skilled up with what is change management, what is also a bit of service management, and what is adoption when it comes to Office 365. The course definitely has a team slant towards it. But it talks about Office 365 as a whole. So, so you were saying, Al, that you actually haven't had a chance to look at it yet. Is that right?
Zero. I've been traveling. I think it was launched Thursday or Friday last week.
Yep. Yeah. So I got my certificate on Monday.
Certified.
Yes, it comes. Well, you don't have to get the certificate. So what it is, it's actually an EDX course. So you can go to edx.org online. The course is actually free to do. It's just if you want the certificate to print, to get as a PDF to print out and stick in your cubicle, your wall, whatever, share on LinkedIn, social. That costs an extra. That costs $99 US
to buy the certificate.
So what I find particularly interesting about this is the waves of which this certification will get completed. First will be the MVPs who are kind of connected on the inner circle of it, who are connected to Caruana and the team, or who contributed to it, or know the MVPs who contributed. Then there'll be the generic MVPs. I put myself into that mix. Who are like, oh, saw this. What's this about? Gonna do it. And then it'll start to flow into IT pros, and then the general IT pros, and then it'll move into partners. And then customers will start to get it, the actual inside people.
So coming back to, because you were just rambling on incoherently about who's going to do this. Change management, I wear an office cap and I am change. Talk to me a bit, because I think it was a very bold statement you made about saying that it's change management. And that's a discipline that I'm too scared to touch, even though I've spent the better part of 17 years working with customers about adopting new technology. I know there are specialists out there that you look at Daryl and you look at Susan Hanley, Sarah Hassey, look at Tracy van der Schyp, that spend a lot of their time, look at the Modern Workplace Alliance, they spend a lot of their time perfecting change management strategies. So we can go and we can compare it to something like ProSky or Prosky, because I call it Prosky. ProSide sounds like an Australian, New Zealand, Middle Earth thing that you people do. But
it's an American thing, actually.
Is it an American thing? Okay, makes complete sense. They ruin the English language anyway. So for me, for people like you that actually live in the trenches of moving people from one technology to another or to a later version. I mean, that's where the ninja dust is, the gold. I mean, all we do on my side is I go, well, I can protect your ship. And then you guys go in and you go, well, this is how you're supposed to do it. So it's a big thing. It's
Yeah.
probably the biggest thing. So it's a huge impact. Where do you see? How does it compare? What does it not do?
Yeah, sure. So look, you raised a good point there, and one which I'm going to come back with a contentious point. So you mentioned a number of people who you know who are out there doing change management. The reality is that change management has been sucked into Office 365 as a terminology, as a skill set that people are doing. The reality is change management has existed long before Office 365, will exist
Yes.
long after it. And
Yes.
that's because change management is actually a psychological thing. It's an organizational thing. It's not just about a technology product launch, changing the way that people use a tool or go about their daily, or sorry, going about their daily jobs and how they work as a team. Change management is very much a part of how of something every organization needs to do. Now, I'm actually married to a change manager. Now, the
Okay.
thing is, my change manager was a change manager before she worked with Office 365. She actually took a gap year where she didn't work with Office 365 and was doing change management, and now she's back and working with me. So that's the thing is, I think that if you compared some of even our MVP colleagues, and as I said, this is a contentious point, and I don't think any of them should say that they are change managers. Because if you stood up against a real change manager who specializes in organizational psychology, there's a big gap in learning. Now, and that, I think what brings me to the point is this certification helps kind of it helps kind of bridge that divide a bit, and probably more so for the average punter. Now, the reality is, if you're already doing change management, if you're already doing adoption, you're probably not going to learn a great deal from this course, but I still think it's worthwhile doing because it at least get you onto a common framework that everybody in the Microsoft world is now going to be doing. If you haven't done any of this stuff before, then this is going to be great. I think though you mentioned ProSci. Microsoft's been touting ProSci for a few years now that they've been using it themselves. They've got their own kind of little version of it. Um, Excuse me. The problem is that with ProSci, and you look at it now, there's lots of partners going out and getting ProSci
Yeah.
certified because the reality is when they talk to customer success managers from Microsoft,
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
they're saying ProSci. Are you ProSci? Are you ProSci? Do you have ProSci? Do you have ProSci people? How many ProSci people do you have? It's all about the ProSci because apparently that's the only way you can do change. The reality is
well,
ProSci.
it's the
Sorry, go on.
standard, right? It's the standard.
Well, not really. It's a standard.
Okay,
That's the
like
thing is it's a
PM
very
Box and
popular
Prince
standard.
and the different types of project management methodologies.
Well, exactly. So saying ProSci is the standard is like saying Teams is the only chat tool out there. You know.
Well, what is what other tools are there outside of ProSci? I mean, I don't
Well,
ProSci is
ProSci is a
sci-fi. It's the same thing.
ProSci is a change model, and they've got their AdCar model, which is really widely
Ah,
used. Really.
ADCAR.
Yep.
Yes. So Tracy actually uses a bit of both, strangely enough.
Yes. So that's the thing is there are other change certifications out there. Kind of like as you mentioned with project management, you've got Prince 2, PM BOC, PMP,
Yeah.
all these different certifications that kind of overlap. Like I'm a Prince 2 practitioner.
I actually
So
did the course. And then what we did was we took the MSF and we rolled it into controlling a stage, which was quite cool. And we used the product side of Prince 2 for pulling that into MSF because MFS never had that. So yes, I completely understand. So you were saying earlier on, for those that are change management practitioners, right? People that have spent time in ADCAR and ProSci, like sci-fi,
yeah.
there's the sci. Won't be in any way, shape, or form entertained by this course,
Oh no,
but
no. I still think they'll learn something. I still think there's gaps. But also, as I said, it's good to see like a common framework that you can then move from one customer to another, one organization you work for to another. I think that what we'll probably see is ProSci being dropped like hotcakes by Microsoft. Because the
okay,
thing with ProSci is you can go off and do a ProSci training course for 3 days, get your certificate, happy days. You're now a ProSci certified change
So
manager.
I
Just
think
the
that
ProSci tool, though, cost a lot of money ongoing. And
no,
that's the thing, what ProSci
and
makes money on is IP.
it's this
And it's
big.
exactly, it's a huge library, and it's a great library, but it
Yeah,
goes beyond Office 365. So
yeah.
that's the thing, is it's an unattractive pitch to say, hey, go off and do this 3-day training course. Go and license all these tools to spend all this money on all these things so you can talk about change management and adoption with Office 365. And I
Look,
think that's where this courseware comes in as a nice, everybody can do it. It's free to do it. You don't have to spend money on going to an external training course. And the only thing you really pay for is that digital certificate at the end to say, yes, I've done it.
look, I see value in it, right? There are large organizations, and then there are your typical small to medium enterprises or small to medium businesses or SMC, whatever you want to call it, right? And from a managed partner perspective with Microsoft, we know that there are customers that are not managed by account executives in the country. So the subsidiary has their large customers, and then they have customers that are dealt out of that are sold to by someone in Ireland, right? For
Yep.
those people, it's invaluable, right? Because chances are they don't have a big budget just for change management, but you still want the product to be adopted successfully. So being able to enable them to not have the money to spend on the Susans and the Sarahs and the Tracys of the world, but still have some form of, hey, we bought this product, we're not, and we need to use it now. So
Yeah.
is it really aimed at them, would you say?
I believe so, because the reality is, I think that you're always going to need an external specialist of some kind who has experience to hold your hand, guide you, get you started, those kind of things. It's kind of like actually what I do, more from the technology and the product and the roadmap side of things in governance, and what my wife actually does from a change management side of things.
Yeah.
But I think that this particular certification, in all honesty, hand on heart, I think everybody who's involved in Office 365 from an organization should be doing it. Not just for Office 365, they can use it for everything. Because as I said, it is Office 365 centric, but it's not about the products, like how do you configure Planner, when do you deploy planners, none of that stuff. It's all about stakeholder engagement, training, launches, governance is covered in there as well. So I think that everybody from service desk up should be doing this. Not because they are going to be change managers, but they should be aware of it. Time and time again, and you would have seen this, IT people don't care for end users. Well, this will teach you why you should care.
Not at all.
Conversely, it will teach people from a business side of things and communication specialists and HR that there's an element where you have to work with IT. So it's not aimed at an IT audience. It's not aimed at a HR audience. It's not aimed at a marketing audience. It's kind of aimed at all of them. And I think gives them a really good appreciation for what's involved. In all honesty, I think because it's a free course, everybody should do it.
Yeah.
It's effectively like the new MCP. I think all partners should be doing it as well, because I hear so many partners say we do change management. You don't. You do launches. You say, cool, hey, we've moved you to Skype for Business.
Yeah.
Let's do some posters. That's launches is not the same as change.
Yeah, but also
it's not the same as service management.
But operational change is continuous.
Yes. Look, this is probably more focused on, I would say, 60-70% is aimed towards more launch and migration and those kind of things. But there's definitely elements covered of this is how you keep it on going, because it talks about how to actually build the champions network and those kind of things.
All right.
There's also a lot of links to existing resources, which is great in there, because that's one of the things people get confused about is where to find all the different resources. Is it successwithteams.com? Is that aka.ms/ blah, blah, blah adoption? Is it tech community champions? There's all these different resources. This kind of puts them together, gives you a good library of materials. I think though, a wise organization, depending on their size, will still be benefited from having external people there just to kind of, as I said, start them off, hold their hand, or depending on the size of the organization, actually execute. Because maybe it's like now you have an appreciation, you still don't have the resources to deliver or the capability to deliver. So great, get an external partner in for that. Or a
so
consultant.
you saying that Office 365 officially supports this certification?
Do
This
you mean the
show,
product or the people?
I'm saying that this show,
Or do
support,
we? Do
yeah,
365
Office
Unplugged, do we
365,
support this?
365 Unplugged.
Cool.
Are
You're going to
we
get slapped
endorsing?
around as an MVP for saying no. No, no, it's not about that. I think having done it, having someone who's lived and breathed Office 365 for the better part of 10 years now,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. I think this is, I kind of herald this as something that is really overdue in the industry. As I said right at the start, change management and adoption when it comes to Office 365 is the new Exchange migration. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's saying they're doing
Ooh,
it. Great.
ooh.
Let's get us all on the same page.
Yeah, so I'm just going to start a YouTube channel with you called Office 365 Adoption Nightmares, and we'll Gordon Ramsay this thing.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of those. We actually could do that and get customers to speak about it.
I've been wanting to do something like that since SharePoint migration started from 2003 to 2007. Is that it? Is
Yeah,
that a wrap? We've got to keep it under 12
that's it.
minutes.
I think
And
we're beyond 12 minutes.
for anyone that wants us to endorse their product, please get hold of Lorian. We're happy to endorse Plantronics Logitech kit. I'm more than happy to do that. So
No,
contact us.
that's for my work from home warriors. Shh.
Okay.
No, no.
Fair enough.
No, I think, look, you'll probably final thought on this. As I said, someone who's been doing this for years, everybody should get out there and have a look at this. You can do it in under a day.
Okay.
It really is only a handful of hours if you go through it. There's some videos in there. It's really easy content. Our good friend Daryl's in there. You mentioned Susan Hanley, Heather. Our friends are in there. It's great content by great people.
Well, then I'll
So,
have to actually go through it then if our friends are in there.
all right, everybody. I hope that
Well,
was useful. Go out there and do it. It'll probably take you a little bit longer than this video took to watch.
okay. Cheers.